Today we are going to look at 4 different builds for Trinity Prime, especially because now you are able to get Trinity Prime for free as part of Twitch Prime drops. I will leave a link to a Warframe website page where they explain how to get the free Trinity Prime with Twitch Prime drops, so you have to link the account, and I will keep that link active for as long as this offer is available. So we'll do 4 different builds today: EV, Bless, Eidolon Hunter, and Link Tank Trinity. I'm going to start with obviously the most useful and requested one, and that is EV Trinity. Now, the structure of EV Trinity is that you want to have the least amount of duration possible. So these 2 mods right here, those are absolutely necessary. You will get Fleeting Expertise, as well as Transient Fortitude from doing Orokin Vault runs, and unfortunately, you need to have them maxed. If you don't have enough endo to max Transient Fortitude, keeping it at 9, it's okay. Keeping it at 8, it's already not a very good EV, and you will get complaints from your teammates. So, at duration of 12%, we get EV, and I'll go into abilities just to show. We'll get EV to do these pulses within 1.2 seconds. So all 4 pulses, which are currently 56 energy per pulse, happen with just over a second. So these are the basics of EV build. The rest what we have here is to increase the strength. Increasing the strength also increases the amount of energy per pulse. Increasing range, that will not only increase the range how far you can target, but also the radius of pulses. Currently our range is just over 50 meters, I believe at 55. So hitting one enemy will give you a radius to all of your teammates' energy within 55 meters. Efficiency, we had to, get efficiency because these 2 mods are necessary. And I know we are using 4 corrupted mods. However, this is basically what build further requires. There isn't really much to work around there. Now, there is also currently Umbral Intensify. You can feel free to substitute that if you want to, but I'm going to run it just with regular Intensify for now. Vampire Leech is a Trinity augment. What happens here is that after you activate your EV, all the energy that is not absorbed into your energy pool goes into your shields. And this is one of the reasons why we do not have Prime Flow, because we are using our shields for tankiness to be able to kind of carry us through. And also, if you will see here, we have made it exactly 56, balanced all the mods perfectly, so that we get 4 pulses, that is 224. Our energy pool is 225, so even if we heat up at 0, be able to almost 100% fill up our energy pool. So it's pretty simple to use this build. All you have to do, on in pause AI, all you have to do, just get an enemy, and just simulate them, any enemy, go to them, cast your 2, and you will see how it pulses 4 times very quickly, and it restores 56 energy per pulse to all of your teammates. You'll also notice in the top right where my shields are, my shields have turned purple and more than doubled. This is what happens when you have Vampire Leech augment that I showed you. Your shields are just going to go into overshields mode. And this is also why we have to keep our energy pool slightly lower without flow, so that way our shields can be our tankiness. Now, with this build, basically you will always be asked to provide energy, so this is what you do most of the time. You just stand there and spam. You are the engine that provides the power for the rest of your team to do DPS. Now, you might think it's pretty boring, you just sit there and spam that. However, if you have less than an hour to play, and you just want to get some focus, go into Elite Sanctuary Onslaught, and just go into any team that wants EV, and every team wants EV, and you'll be able to collect focus very quickly. Also, it's a very good spot to level weapons, not frames. You have to have frame that's level 30. So you'll be able to level almost any weapon you want, any team will want you, and you're basically integral part of builds for many other, well, quite a lot of other frames. Now, if you do not want to go with Vampire Leech, you can add something that can increase your survivability, like Vitality. It fits perfectly here. You can be slightly tankier that way. We can of course also put natural talent so you can cast it faster. And when it comes to arcanes, I run Arcane Barrier. I don't have a maxed one yet, but I run it because our shields are the ones that are giving us tankiness for this build. And Arcane Consequence, because you want something that Sentinel can activate, and this will going to make you faster, because in this build I did not have any room for any parkour mods. And the second build we're going to look through is Bless. Now before we start with the Bless build, just have to know that there is hundreds of different Bless builds. Hundreds. There is many variations for many things. This is just the one that I run, the one that I'm used to and I like to play with, but you can change this build in many ways. Now, just go back into it. The way I run Bless, I do not care for range at all. I don't really use range for anything in this build. However, you want duration and you want your strength at 155. Now, it is very important to have your power strength at 150 or above, and I'll show you why. Right here, damage reduction is at max of 75 and restoration is at 100 once you reach 150% power strength. Anything below 150, this damage reduction number is gonna start dropping and eventually will restoration as well. I like to do that with one mod. However, if you want to run this, if you don't want to use Transit Fortitude and you want a bit more duration, you don't care about maxing out your damage reduction, you can just change this for Intensify, you can change this for Power Drift. It'll give you about 45 and it'll increase the duration a bit. For me, I want my Trinity to be faster, so I use Rush. You can also use Mobilize here as well. It's pretty good. Let's do it like this. Generally, I found it with Bless because it is not affected by range. It is affected by 10 affinity range, right? You need to be within 50 meters of your teammates. Otherwise, you will not be able to give them any benefits of your Bless. Now, efficiency. You want this efficiency to be high. Go back to abilities. Let me just show you. I can cast Bless for 25. I can cast Energy Vampire for 13. And the way I have balanced these is that even one pulse of Energy Vampire, which is now going to happen very slowly, will give me 38 energy. So if I cast one Bless and one Energy Vampire enemy next to me, I get all the energy back so I can do it again. All you have to do with this build is just keep on spamming the Bless. So let's just show here exactly what happens. We'll get a couple of enemies. Wait, let me clear this from the last run. So all you're doing is basically just spamming your 4. Now when you come close to them, because you do have duration, you can cast your Link for some damage reduction, but then you cast 4. So while you fight, you have that 75% damage resistance on there. Now, you can see also, you can keep on recasting 4. So whenever your teammates need it, even though you cast it, and even though your duration is still on, you can just keep on recasting it. Good thing about the Blast, you can do it in the air. Unlike some powers, you don't have to be on the ground. So just cast it anywhere, anytime you want. Also, one thing when you're running Blast Trinity, basically you're in charge that everybody constantly is up and downed. What you want to do is also go into options and for the interface, show players list. like this. What's going to happen once you activate this, on your screen, right hand side, right below where it says Carrier Prime for me, there's going to be a list of all of your teammates, and it's going to show their health, their shields, also if they're under the effect of your bless. So you'll be able to see, even if they're not in your line of sight, you'll be able to see if a teammate needs help. Now, as I said before, you cannot really affect range with mods because it is 10 affinity range. However, you can use Vazarin Focus School, and in Vazarin Focus School, Max Mending Unity, which is the first ability, that'll give you 50% increase to your 10 affinity, that'll increase the range. So if you run that, and you can maybe put about 50,000 focus to open Mending Souls, which will give you like a 1 free revive. So for about 250,000 focus, you'll be able to increase your range and get a free revive, which is pretty much what works well with this Trinity. Now, for Arcanes, I run Arcane Guardian, just for some tankiness. We do have Vitality on, we do have Constant Bless, but you always want to have something to help you just in case you run out of energy a little bit. And Arcane Energize, if you have a full one, I don't, I only have one. That'll help out your team, but this spot really you can put anything. Now, for the next one, we're going to do Eidolon Hunter Trinity. This is a variation of Bless, just in a very strange way. So what happens here, for this build, get out and come back in so it's not showing us a comparison. We still have strength at 155. I'm using Transient Fortitude for that. I like to use only one mod for that. I don't like to waste 2 spots. And we have efficiency at 170, but we have duration only at 88. And that is on purpose. You can actually lower it and increase it by putting different values of fleeting expertise. So if you want it slightly shorter, you can use one less streamline and one less streamline and one higher fleeting expertise. So we can do it like this. You will also remove duration. For me, I found that at about 88% is a perfect fit for Eidolons. Now the reason for that, going to abilities, is that after Eidolon Synovia drops, it's about I think it was 7 to 8 seconds of magnetic pulses. And you don't want to use your bless to interfere with, if you have Chroma on a team, with Chroma self-damage. So your bless needs to end quickly, but you have to keep on recasting it for the lures. So shorter duration will give you more chances to do that. Also, with these, damage reduction sometimes will not really help for you to save the lures, because the amount of damage that they will get hit sometimes is just massive. You will still have to spam that bless. So the only thing you can really do in that case is regain some energy by the damage that you are converting from your health into energy, and just keep on spamming that bless. This is also why you need efficiency. Go back here. Our bless in this case costs 30. So when you lose about 70 health, you have enough to cast another bless. You can of course use Rage instead of Hunter Adrenaline on this spot. That's fine as well. Now, I use Mobilize just to increase the bullet jump. You have to move really quickly. When you get the lures, you will have to go around and get about 7 lures if you're doing Eidolon hunts, and then come back to the team, so you want to be fast moving always. I use 2 Vigilante mods because when I go Eidolon hunting, I use my Lanka. I'll show you this as well. So this way, because I have some Vigilante mods on my Lanka and some here, I get 20% chance enhanced critical. So every 5th shot from my Lanka, which has multi-shot guaranteed on every hit, so every 5th shot, my critical hit will be upgraded, let's say from yellow to orange, or from orange to red. So these two, we have them to help out with the damage, and also enemy radar, it's okay. It's not really that useful, you can remove it if you don't want the bonus, but it'll help you a bit with to find Vombalists when they're around and take care of those, to fill up the lures or to stop them from recharging Eidolon. Now, you do want to have here a mod that's going to help out the team. I have Deadeye because we usually run Eidolon hunts with snipers. If you don't run with a sniper, obviously put in here to help whatever damage, or if your strategy is for everybody to have a CP to do some armor stripping for Eidolons, then just put CP here. You can see you can put any aura here because this one is not actually matching, so this will fit anything. Now, for Arcanes, get Arcane Nullifier. Arcane Nullifier gets you 80% chance to resist magnetic damage effect. So when Eidolon goes down, what happens is that he sends 5 pulses of magnetic energy, and even more when he goes down for the final hit. Those magnetic pulses will do magnetic proc. That magnetic proc will take, I believe, in total 200 or 250 energy from you, and it'll drop down your shields to 25%. So this thing in Eidolon hands will prevent that. They're additive, so having 2 of them at, I have currently 2 maxed out, having 2 of them I have plus 160% resistance to magnetic procs. However, you can do it with just rank 1 and rank 2. The reason why I'm using rank 3 is because you get plus 2 arcane revives, and as Trinity you don't want to end up with no revives, then all of the team suffers. But if you just have a rank 1 and a rank 2, you're at 100%, and you will not get hit with magnetic status that's going to wipe out your energy and your shields. And now, for what is probably my favorite, even though least played Trinity build, Link Tank. So with this build, we're just building Trinity to be extremely tanky, so you can withstand any damage, to go very high level. You can do like in a mod survival for an hour. I will actually post clips of mod survival test for this build right after this. But yeah, she can pretty much take any damage, survive anything. So what happens in this build is that we want lots of duration because we're going to be running Link. And power strength is at 151 because we want to get maximum damage resistance. I am using Umbral Intensify at rank 8. I don't see a point of maxing it yet until I see what happens with Umbral mods. And that'll give me 151 without minuses with Power Drift. And of course, because we are running Quick Thinking for some tankiness, Prime Flow, you can do it with Flow. However, if you do not have Prime Flow and just doing Flow, you might want to switch Rage with Hunter Adrenaline, so that way you will get slightly more energy. It's only 40 to 45%, you get slightly more energy, but it will help for the tankiness. However, if you have Prime Flow maxed, or not even maxed at 10, 12, whatever you have it on, put it on, because Quick Thinking will allow you to be extra tanky for this. Okay, let's just go to test this, show how she does with this. She is very good at going the distance with this build. Let's use Amprex. So let's make this fair fight, so we'll get some tough enemies, because she is extremely tough. So 10 corrupted heavy gunners, 10 corrupted bombards. We'll do a max level possible of 155. Simulate those. Going to cast our Link. And then you will see over here, as we are losing life, we are gaining energy. It's very important to have the Link on, because if you don't have the Link, you will be susceptible to all the status effects, and you won't be able to cast your Bless. So we have currently a Link, and whenever we get hurt, we cast Bless to regain the health, and because we are doing that, it's a constant loop. Because of Rage, our health gives us energy, but when we get hurt, it gives us, when we get hurt and health goes down, energy refills. When we hit bless, energy goes down, gives us health, and it's endless loop. And these are very, very tough enemies. I'm not doing any damage to him, I'm just showing you how tanky she can be. As soon as your health gets down to about 300 or something, you want to hit that bless to get your energy back up. You can recast bless as much as you want. You cannot recast your link, so you have to keep an eye on your link. If your link expires and you don't hit it fast enough, they can probably one-shot you. You can see here, she is taking so much damage, it's ridiculous. You can start hitting them back. So as they're fighting, you're immune to all of those status procs. And you can pretty much do this forever. Now, we'll get rid of these enemies. Let me show you another thing. If you go very high level, damage is going to get really high as well. So constantly casting Bless becomes not viable because you are going to have lots of energy loss. You might even have Eximus units. So what you would do with this build, you will get a weapon that has Life Strike on it, and we're using Destreza Prime. This is from my Destreza Prime video. It's the first build A with Life Strike on it at max. And I will just show you how that fight will go. And we'll get the same amount. So we are going to go cast link, switch to melee only. And now, because we hit with Life Strike and we have a weapon that has guaranteed slash procs, we are constantly gaining life. Hit one enemy with slash procs, move on to next enemy. Hit with slash procs, move on to next enemy. So as we're fighting all of them, we keep on gaining life from the slash procs on enemies that are left behind. We're going to build up our combo like that. Okay, I forgot to drop link here. Notice as I don't cast link, a whole bunch of trouble starts. And now we have built up our combo. We're able to take the enemies down pretty quickly. Now, don't just hold the button for your life strike, because you have to hold channeling for lifestyle to work, but just hold it for first 2 hits. Just hold it for first 2 hits, then after that let it go. You don't want to waste the energy like I just did right there. And remember, these are all level 155 enemies. Okay, I ran out of energy, let me just get a couple more. And we're just going through all of them with Life Strike and melee and slash while Link is keeping us safe. Rage is refilling our energy, and sometimes when we mess up and don't cast the Link, we have that quick thinking and quite a large energy pool. It's basically equivalent of having about, I believe, 1500 life. So whenever you see yourself getting stunned, you know that your link is down, because once your link is up, you are actually immune to all of the status effects. So if you see yourself getting staggered, you're either too far away from enemies or your link is down. So you have to get closer to enemies. This is why doing this with melee is perfect. There's one. See, link is also good for finding enemies. Okay, I think that is all of them. 10 corrupted bombards and 10 corrupted heavy gunners at level 155. Go down even once. And we finish the fight at full health. And still enough energy to continue on fighting. So yeah, this is a great build, very tanky, especially if you use a guaranteed slash procs, weapons with slash procs and life strike or some kind of other energy gain. As long as you keep your link up, whenever you see yourself drop down to 50% of your health, that means you gained enough energy from rage or whichever one you're running. It could be Hunter Adrenaline, that you'll be able to recast your bless. So cast your bless, cast your link, just keep on going. And you saw in the beginning, you could just stand there constantly, doing absolutely nothing, just pressing your 3 and 4 and surviving. Now, for arcanes for this one, we got Arcane Guardian. You do want tankiness. I mean, Trinity has no armor, so for the health, for 740, as soon as your Guardian hits, and it'll hit often if you're doing high level content, you're gonna keep on getting hit, you will get that 600 plus armor. That in itself is same thing as having about 2100 to 2200 health. And for quick thinking, always make sure that your energy pool currently is at 638. But when you see it dropping at 200, maybe drop an energy pizza, like something obviously is going wrong there, getting hurt too much, just get out of the fight, right? And you should probably use Zenric for this. Get into the operator, cast Zenric. Zenric has energizing dash. That's the second ability, I believe. You max that one out and you'll be able to regain 5 energy per second for 30 seconds, which is going to give you more than enough to cast your link. Your link at this point costs 75, so you can cast 2 of them. So within 15 seconds, after you jump back into your frame, you'll get that link back up. So with this build, there's obviously room to change stuff. As I said, you can drop in Hunter Adrenaline when you remove Umbra Intensify. If you don't have Prime Continuity, you can move that as well. If you don't want to run a quick thinking, you can move that as well. However, these are all one forma builds. For this build, we did add one dash polarity, which is Naramon. For previous 3 builds that I showed you, we did add one V polarity right here, which is Madurai. So if you want to be able to run all 4 builds and change it up on one Trinity Prime, you will have to add actually 2 forma, 1 V and 1 dash. However, if you just want to run Link Tank Trinity, you can also run this with Bless. All you have to do here is switch to Mobilize instead of Rush, and you'll have enough to run Bless and Link Tank. So your choice is either you have Naramon with these 2 builds, right, or you can have Madurai with these 3 builds, or do 2 formas, 1 V, 1 dash, and you have all 4 builds. Now, as I said, I will add a couple of clips of Trinity Link Tank doing mod Survival in Void for 1 full hour, just to do some testing, so you guys can see how this is played overall. And I'm actually using these. I'm using Arcane Acceleration to help out my rifle, and I'm using a little bit of Life Strike as well. And let's go to the mod Void, see how far this build is. And here we are coming up on 30 minutes. Link Trinity Tank is holding up just fine, no issues here. Lots of enemies, but all the damage is mitigated. We are currently still using our rifle strategy. Now we're going to switch to melee once enemies get slightly higher level. Eximus units just start showing up now. And soon it's gonna start getting much harder. And then we're just gonna go back into life strike melee. And we're going to hit 30 minutes in just about a minute.
Additional life support has arrived.
We're still over 50% life support, so we're doing fine there. We did end up using 2 life support stations, or actually 3. Gotta watch out for those nullifiers. They sneak up on you, and suddenly Link is gone. And of course, Leech, Eximus, you want them dead right away. There we go, 30-minute mark. We'll come back in and check in a bit later on, see how far it gets us. And we are coming up to the 45-minute mark. At this point we have to do a mixture of melee and rifle. And of course, I'm gonna have to start using some energy vampire as well to cover some energy losses.
Get ready for a capsule.
A lot more blessings now, of course. As soon as Link drops, even if you get caught by one hit, it'll go straight into your quick thinking. So you'll find yourself having to use a lot more of it.
Now available. Look what our Tenno operative just found. Could not do.
And we are now at Lotus Arc at 45 minutes. Just to show it's still solo with rewards. And we are coming up to 1 hour with this Trinity build.
Get ready for a capsule.
We still have about 3 revives left because I have 2 full arcanes, but we're going to extract at an hour. I think this pretty much shows that this is quite tanky for doing solo missions.
I've delivered another life support capsule.
And as they keep doing damage to me, they keep refilling my energy, allowing for even more bless. Nullifiers, however, they can sneak up on you. They got me 3 times already. The bubble just suddenly shows up and expands and your Link is gone. So, large, wide open rooms are probably the best for this build. This way, you can see them coming and take care of them. Take out the Ancients, take out the Nullifiers. Eximus units should be no problems after that. Oh, didn't pay attention at the Link at the time. Got knocked down once. Yeah, as soon as your Link goes down, you're pretty much done.
Look what our Tenno operative just found. They could not do this without you.
Alright, I'm here at 1 hour mark, let's extract.
Extraction is your best option.
There we go. 1 hour with a Link Tank Trinity build. And that was all solo. This concludes our Trinity Prime 4 builds with just one forma video. If you liked any of the builds, click like, click subscribe for more videos as well. And you can always stop by on twitch.tv/newspan and talk to us live. See you there. Until next time.